On the 8th of July 2014, Brazil had their hopes shattered in the iconic 7-1 World Cup semi-final defeat to Germany on their home soil. That was followed by a disappointing performance at the Copa America 2 years later, and ultimately the appointment of Tite, with which the healing process truly began. The 57-year-old ex-Corinthians manager restored the cohesion within the group, put together a plan for success, and rebuilt the hopes of an entire country with an almost immaculate qualifying campaign. Only defeated once over 18 matches, Brazil finished on 41 points, the best point total since 2002. Their defensive record of only 11 goals conceded is also a record high in CONMEBOL qualifiers, with a sturdy back line contributing a lot to that. During this campaign, Roma goalkeeper Alisson was Tite's number one. The heart of defence was held down by a combination of Miranda and one of PSG's Marquinhos or Thiago Silva. Despite the highly rated competition, Marcelo is the man on the left, while the experienced Dani Alves played right back. Lining up in a 4-3-3, Casemiro works as the single defensive midfielder, with the underestimated duo of Paulinho and Renato Augusto ahead of him. Finally, the front trio of Coutinho, Gabriel Jesus and Neymar grabs headlines. Tite's football is focused on controlling games through possession. For that, a lot of his work is making sure his players always have several solutions to keep the ball moving. The centre-backs are invited to play short out of the back and are offered passing lanes with not just one but two midfielders dropping to receive and making sure that the team is at a numerical advantage in the early stages of build-up. From then on, it's about movement and fluidity. The wide forwards constantly roam, Neymar having a particularly unrestrained role, and the striker is encouraged to drop deep, all with the intent of forming passing triangles for the man on the ball. While none of the central midfielders or defenders are elite passers, this makes it so they are usually in condition to make good decisions on the ball. Keeping all their sectors in a reduced amount of space helps them be dynamic in possession, constantly finding options to keep things moving forwards. Their mobility helps them open spaces which they can then take advantage of, by rushing players on, moving into the box to connect with crosses from the fullbacks. Paulinho has been a standout in this direct, offensive-minded role from midfield and could prove key in Russia. That capacity to create through systematic combinations, alongside a selection of world-class attackers who can create from nothing, makes this Brazil team hard to stop. Defensively, they tend to counter-press, trying to get possession back as quickly as possible when they lose it in the opposition half. That said, Tite hasn't been opposed to defending deeper in periods when they deem that necessary. With two well-spaced lines of four and Casemiro acting as a ball winner between them, often moving to put pressure on the opponent in possession, even in the wide areas, just so the backline can remain compact. Brazil also have the players to make the absolute most of attacking transitions whenever they get the ball back in one of these situations, with agile ball carriers able to attack the space left behind the opposition. An adaptable approach, as you can see, is crucial for Tite. And, as the World Cup approaches, the manager might even adapt things when it comes to personnel. The third man in midfield has been a position of focus for this, with two players tested in Augusto's spot depending upon the opposition. Manchester City's Fernandinho could provide extra defensive cover for matches that demand it, while to break down rigid defensive blocks there's the option of bringing in Coutinho's creative passing and ability from distance to this central role, and including Willian for extra width from the right. Further back, the personnel switch has been a forced one. Alves is out through injury, and taking into account that he was the single most used player by the team during the qualifying campaign, he won't be easy to replace. The coach has mentioned that City's Danilo is starting the preparation ahead of Wagner, despite the latter being called up more often, probably due to Danilo having a more similar skill set to Alves. His integration will be key in what could well be the team's most vulnerable point. Looking for its 6th World Cup title, now under a manager with a clear, enjoyable footballing philosophy, Brazil has earned back its trust from the world's most passionate football crowd. If the Seleção doesn't get the title, they'll surely dazzle the crowds in Russia. If you want to keep up with Brazil or any other World Cup team this summer, the best place to go is the OneFootball app. There's constantly updated news, squad information, fixture lists, and all the rest. Take a look at the link in the description to download it and find out more. Thanks for watching.